Hello, welcome or welcome back. I'm Stephen, and in this edition of Doctor Who in Mind, I'm going to be talking about the William Hartnell story, The Chase. But before we get to that, I just want to have a quick word about the future of this channel, because I'm going to be making a few changes. I've been doing this for about 2 months now, which is just about long enough to gauge what I feel works and what doesn't work so well. So the core content's not going to change drastically. I mean, there's still going to be the weekly Doctor Who reviews, and I'm still going to be talking about mental health and my own mental health, depression. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the two topics completely, because I think they don't sit that well together, not as well together as I thought they might. And I think if people see a thumbnail of me in what is obviously, I mean, look at that, what's obviously going to be a Doctor Who video, and they click on it, and then there's 4 or 5 minutes of me going on about something that's got nothing at all to do with Doctor Who, then that might be a bit off-putting. So what's going to happen is every Tuesday will be the Doctor Who review, and every Sunday will be the other video, which will be only 5 or 6 minutes, whereas the Doctor Who one will be 10-12 minutes. But in these 5 or 6 minutes, I'm going to try and take maybe a bit more of a holistic, for want of a better word, view of mental health and my own circumstances. And by that I mean, I'm not just going to sit here and say how I feel, what sort of week I've had, whether I've been up, down. There'll be some of that. But I also, because this project, this vlog, if you like, is to help my own mental health, as well as to entertain you. I do hope I entertain as well, but I also want to, it's so important for me to have a project. So I'll be talking about things I'm doing, things I'm going to be doing, things I've enjoyed doing, things I'm looking forward to, things I've done. Have I said that? Things I've done. And that there might be a few entertaining stories and anecdotes, and maybe you'll learn a bit more about me, and I hope it'll be fun. So it's just going to be easier for people who just want the Doctor Who content to just watch the Doctor Who content. People who just want the other content to just watch the other content, and of course people who want both will still be able to watch both, just be on different days. And that's going to be starting this coming Sunday. This coming Sunday will be the first of the new short videos, and then the Tuesday after will be the first of the standalone Doctor Who reviews, which will be randomly selected, as always. Okay, so now I've said that, it's time to get on with talking about The Chase. Okay, so here's the First Doctor. First time for the First Doctor to go into the hat. So just prepare him so he can grip on, and you know what's coming next. Hope you're all in good voice. Let's get a wide brim to start with. Oh, it's time to talk about Doctor Who. I've got the Doctor in my hat. I'll have to stay very, very, very still, or he'll fall out and go splat. Caught him. Okay. So, first time the First Doctor's come up. Now, as I said at the end of my last video, the First Doctor is my absolute favourite of all the Doctors. I absolutely love William Hartnell's characterisation, everything about the First Doctor, and some wonderful stories. And there'll be plenty of opportunity for me as we go along to say a lot more about William Hartnell's Doctor. But the one thing I always tell people when they find out I'm such a big fan of the First Doctor is always, when you're watching William Hartnell, always watch what his hands are doing, and always watch what his eyes are doing, because with his hands, there's that familiar lapel thing he does, but there's also lots of other smaller hand gestures he makes, and his eyes are always active. He's always doing so much with his eyes in his performance, and you can tell at any given time, if the Doctor's on screen, First Doctor, you can tell what he's thinking just by slight changes in the flicker of his eyes or twitch of his face. I mean, he had such an expressive face, and William Hartnell was such an amazing actor, and it's just a pity that obviously he became ill while he was playing the role, and to be honest, even when he first took the role, it was at the start of the period in his life where the illness was starting to rob him of some of his skills. But that's take nothing away from him. He's a tremendous actor, and even if he couldn't always remember the line now and again, he always stayed perfectly in character, and it didn't really disrupt the show in any way. I mean, I just think it's wonderful. Now, the chase. This is towards the tail end of season 2, and that's another favourite thing of mine. Season 2 of 20th Century Doctor Who is my all-time favourite series or season of the entire run of Doctor Who, you know, from start to where we are now. I don't think anything's ever topped season 2. And the reason why I say that is it's at a point in the show's history where season 1 has been such a tremendous hit. They know how good the viewing figures are, they know they've got the audience there, and the production team suddenly feel this confidence to do absolutely whatever they dare to do. And season 2 has such a wide variety of different stories, and of course the chase encompasses that in spades. I mean, that there are multiple locations. I mean, as the name suggests, it's a chase through space and time. Anyway, so before I want to talk about the chase, what's the story of the chase, I just want to say a bit about how I first came to see this story, because this is actually one of the earliest Hartnells that I ever got to see. I think previously to that I'd seen, obviously I'd seen An Unearthly Child in the 1981 repeat season, way back. I'd seen The Time Meddler in, I think, 1992 BBC Two repeat season. Not an awful lot else, I don't think. But anyway, in 1993 I was at university in Bangor in North Wales, and it was my second year, and it was also the 30th anniversary of Doctor Who, of course, and at a time when Doctor Who was out of the public consciousness, but nevertheless the BBC were putting out video releases promoting the fact it was the 30th anniversary. And I never had a video recording though, my family never had a VCR. My parents sort of said that, well, there's no point if you're too busy to watch something when it's going out, then you're also going to be too busy to watch it later. I never quite followed the logic of that, but anyway. There was a second-hand electronics shop in Bangor, and I'd seen this rather elderly-looking VCR in the window. It was a sort of metallic one, not one of these sleek sort of black ones, a sort of old metallic one, and I can't remember what I paid for it, but I'd been debating the pros and cons, and finally I just went in and I bought this thing. £80, I don't know, £80 comes to mind, that might be wrong, which is quite a lot of money in 1993, because of course video recorders, even new ones, they've come video recorders, we don't have them now, but the equivalent, DVD players, whatever. All that sort of technology has come down in price now, but back then it wasn't cheap, especially for a student. But I bought this, and of course I also needed things to play on it. So I went out and bought some VHS tapes, Doctor Who ones, and the first three I got Dragonfire, and I also got the TARDIS box set, which came in a sort of tin with a Dalek on the front, and that was The Chase and The Remembrance of the Daleks. So I took these three home, and I think the first of the ones I watched was The Chase, because that was the first of the three I'd bought that was new to me, because obviously I'd seen those two McCoy stories when they were aired 5 or 6 years previously. And so I was watching the chase, and I was just absolutely enthralled by it. It was wonderful. And so, onto the story itself. Now, the Daleks, they've suddenly noticed that the Doctor's a bit of a pain in the backside, and it's time they dealt with him. It followed their invasion of Earth, and goodness knows what else he'd done that we've not yet experienced. But anyway, they've got a time machine, and they send this squad of Daleks out to exterminate the Doctor and his companions, Ian, Barbara and Vicky, although since they're thinking about Dark Invasion of Earth, they'll be thinking of Susan, but it's Vicky by this point. Now, I have to say, as this story goes on, I have to conclude that this particular squad of Daleks, they're not Scaro's brightest and best. They're actually grossly incompetent in many ways, and I can't help wondering in my own headcanon whether the Supreme Dalek sent this squad of Daleks out, handpicked them specially, just to get them out of the way, fed up with them, get them off Scaro, get them out in space somewhere. If they do happen to somehow, by chance, exterminate the Doctor while they're out there, then that's just a bonus. But anyway, the Daleks pursue the Doctor from first to the planet Ovidius, which used to be an ocean planet. Whether it was called Ovidius when it was an ocean planet, I don't know. Maybe it was called, I don't know, Oceanus or something before that. But anyway, that's a Terry Nation thing. It like to give these literal names to planets. I mean, later in another story, we have the prison planet Desperus, which, and you know. Anyway, they go from Ovidius to the Empire State Building, to the Marie Celeste, and finally to the planet Mechanus, so-called because the mechanoids are there. And one of the best things about this story is the final set-piece battle between the Daleks and the mechanoids, which is actually very effective to watch. There's a lot of other silly stuff right through the story. I mean, the middle two episodes 3 and 4, are very, very silly. You know, the scene on the Empire State Building with Peter Purvis playing Mortandil, perhaps the only human being in the history of the universe that is so stupid that even the Daleks can't be bothered to exterminate him. You know, he was asking for it, but somehow he didn't get exterminated. And then, of course, there's the haunted house, where we meet Dracula and Frankenstein's monster and all that stuff. But for me, the most interesting part of those middle episodes is actually the bit on the Marie Celeste. Because, now hear me out on this, it's not official canon or anything, but I reckon in these scenes we see the first evidence that the Daleks can fly, or hover at least. Although we don't see them doing so, there is a scene where we see Daleks on different levels of the split level ship's deck. Now, how did the Dalek on the upper deck get up those steps? We don't see it happen. Must have got up there somehow, because there wouldn't, I very doubt there'd be a ramp on the ship. So, how did he get up there? That's one to ponder. Now, of course, the other thing that this story is famous for is Ian and Barbara, their final story, because at the end they decide to go off in the Dalek time machine back to their own time, or near enough. And that's, when you watch the show in order, as I have done before a couple of times, that's really a heartstrings tugging moment when we say goodbye to Ian and Barbara, and the Doctor's obviously very touched by it. He never wanted them there in the first place, really, although he kidnapped them. But of course he's become quite attached to them over time. And it marks the end of the original companions, with Susan already being gone. So now the Doctor is the only original cast member still in place. And we're just over halfway through William Hartnell's run at this point, and things change after that. But we'll say more of that when we get onto a season 3 story. Now, one other thing I want to say before I close this segment, we're also going back to 1993 for this. I want to tell you a really embarrassing story about me and my brother. So if you're watching, Sam, be prepared. I know you probably feel the same way about this as I do. My brother and I went to the 1993 30th anniversary Doctor Who convention in Hammersmith, London. And on the first night of that convention, there was a celebrity buffet where you could buy a ticket for that and extra on top of the normal convention ticket, and mingle and mix with stars of the show. And one of the people there was John Scott Martin, who played, I say played, he did play some roles in Doctor Who, but is best known for being one of the Dalek operators in, I think, almost every 20th century Doctor Who story. Maybe not the first one, but I think almost all of them after that, and certainly was there for the chase. Anyway, John Scott Martin walked up to us in the buffet hall and said hello, asked us if we were having a good time, and we said yes. And then, of course, with him being a Doctor Who star and us being Doctor Who fans, he stood there waiting in expectation that we'd have some interesting questions to ask him. Now, Sam and I had never been to a Doctor Who convention before, and we were both slightly starstruck, awestruck, tongue-tied, dumbstruck, however you want to put it. But anyway, for what seemed like an eternity, but was actually only 30 seconds or so probably, all three of us, myself, my brother, John Scott Martin, all stood there in total silence as Sam and I both completely failed to say anything. We just couldn't. I couldn't get our brains and our mouths in gear. And eventually, poor old John Scott Martin gave up on us as a bad job and wandered off to speak to somebody who actually might have something worth saying to him. And I cringe so much when I think about that. And no, the questions we could have asked him, but that's by the by. That's gone. That opportunity's gone, and John Scott Martin's gone, and we'll never have that chance again. And we blew it. Okay, people. So now it's time to choose the next story that I'll be reviewing next Tuesday. So let's see what's coming up next. Okay, so once again, I've got my phone with the random number generator wheel. At present, there are 287 options on it. Just a reminder that so far we've had nothing from Thornton, nothing from McGann, nothing from Eccleston, nothing from Tennant. Every other Doctor has had one story come up, except for Colin Baker, who's had two. So let's see what we get. See if we can break into another untouched Doctor, or go back to one of the Doctors we've already revisited. I'm ready to spin the wheel. I'm excited to see what comes up, and I hope you are too. It clicks and it works. That's all you can ask for. That is 232. That's a number high enough for me to know that it's we're going back into 21st century Doctor Who. And we've done 3 consecutive 20th century ones, so be interesting to watch a more recent one. And at present, the 232 space on the wheel is occupied by. Oh, okay. We are going back to Matt Smith, and it's another of my favourite stories, I'm happy to say. We're going to do the Crimson Horror. So please join me next Tuesday for talk about the Crimson Horror. But before that, please join me on Sunday for the first of my new mini videos. I hope to see you both. Hope to see you both. I hope to see you on them both. Yeah, I know my viewing figures are low, but I do hope it's more than 2 people. Hope to see you both. Okay. In the meantime, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please tell your friends, and for goodness sake, please tell my friends too. Bye for now.